What is going on? Jordan Sherwood, Wood on 1063 and FatJackSports.com for our fight picks for UFC 258. It's been a while since we recorded one of these videos. Missed you for the McGregor fight, but back at it, 2 winning weeks in a row, and we've got an absolutely barn burner main event. The rest of the card is awful. We'll have some selections for those said fights, but super amped to see one of my favorite fighters of all time, Kamaru Usman, the current UFC welterweight champion of the world, yet again defend his championship, this time against former teammate, former friend, and now challenger and rightful challenger in Gilbert Burns. This fight was originally scheduled to take place in December. COVID-19 prevented that from happening, and now it's rebooked, and we finally get it. The two best welterweights we have currently in the sport are going to throw down. It's going to be an interesting matchup to see, in my opinion, who gets the advantage on the feet. Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns, both under the tutelage of Henry Hooft, and now Kamaru Usman's over at Elevation Fight Team. It's gotten better, and you've seen that. You saw that in Usman's fight over Woodley, his win to win the championship. You saw that in his victory over Colby Covington. Gilbert Burns has flashed, elements of brilliance in his victories to earn the championship. Obviously, the knockout of Damian Maia, and then he knocked down Tyron Woodley, and just getting better each and every single time. And despite Gilbert Burns being 3-3 to start out his UFC career, getting the sense knocked out of it by Dan Hooker, a tough loss to Michel Paes. You know what? He's a speedy guy on his feet. He's absolutely a whiz on the ground with his Brazilian jiu-jitsu pedigree. His wrestling, his grappling, his clinch game has really improved, as well as his cardio, and that's always been a question as well. Despite not having to cut the weight to 155, now fighting naturally at 170. The issue is that all the things he does well, or where he needs to get the fight, if he wants to get the fight to the ground, it's not something that's going to happen, quite frankly, against Kamaru Usman. I mean, Usman is an outstanding wrestler, is able to control where the fight goes, has cardio for days, and really, is the best fighter at 170. And it's going to, I think, take an early knockdown, an early advantage on the feet while Gilbert Burns is winning the stand-up battle, which is a question. And then, I mean, I don't see Gilbert Burns getting the submission unless it's a quick one against Kamaru Usman. We have a play on the fight. We don't have a play on the winner of the fight. And I'll tell you right now, I think Kamaru Usman wins the fight. But we do have a play on the fight at FatJackSports.com, so you can check out that. And it's very interesting to see what happens between these two. I think, again, two guys that were outstanding credentialed grapplers, Usman on the wrestling side, Gilbert Burns on the jiu-jitsu side, and now they're going to, stand and trade. And it's going to be fun to watch, certainly for sure. Outside of that, there really isn't a lot of things to get excited about. Now, granted, it's interesting to see how Maycee Barber returns after her loss and her torn ACL against Alexa Grasso, who's now fighting, at flyweight, a more natural weight class for her. She's going to have a stand-up advantage for sure. Will be the best striker that Maycee Barber has faced in her UFC or her mixed martial arts career. But is Grasso going to be able to get off that speed, that position for an athletic freak in 22-year-old Maycee Barber, who smothers her opponents and is able just to outwork them and just either, beat them up or strangle them to death. No play on this fight. Just going to sit back and watch and see how Maycee Barber returns. Because, again, her goal was to be the youngest champion in UFC history. She's going to have to do it quickly if there's going to be a play for that, because she turns 23 rather soon. John Jones, of course, the youngest UFC champion of all time. So no play on that fight. We do have a play on the Chris Gutierrez Andre Ewell fight. We like a guy a lot in that fight and think the price is a big miss. So if you want to look for a play on that, Chris Gutierrez Andre Ewell, that'll be one of our selections. We also have a play in the Brian Kelleher Ricky Simone fight. Love Brian Kelleher. He's one of my favorite fighters. Boom. Also one of the best social media follows if you want to get some entertainment from a guy that raps, that sings, that tells you like it is, and then is a fantastic fighter inside the cage. Ricky Simone also, came in with a lot of hype, and it got derailed a little bit after he lost to Uriah Faber, but he's looked good during the pandemic, has notched together 3 wins in a row. So this will be an intriguing fight, and we have a play on that one. The other one I think that people will be looking at is Ian Heinisch and Kelvin Gastelum. Does Kelvin Gastelum get off the schneid? He's lost 3 fights in a row. Again, he'll be the undersized fighter inside the octagon. We were leaning high on Heinisch. We felt like it was going to be 4 wins in a row. Not much to trust out of Kelvin Gastelum, even though, look, the losses are to Israel Adesanya, to Jack Hermanson, Darren Till, not guys that are upper echelon fighters at 185. And Ian Heinisch is an athlete. He wrestles, hits hard. We were going to go with Heinisch. We're now sitting back. We just don't trust him enough to go with that. But I guess a free play would be go with Ian Heinisch. So we'll release that. But 3 plays overall, fatjacksports.com. Have an opinion as well. Actually, an opinion and a play on the Usman Burns fight. So you can check that out. We've won 2 weeks in a row, looking to make it 3. Check it out, Wood on 1063. And of course, enjoy the fights.